right, so we are recording. What are we
Hey,
on?
everybody.
Episode 5
Yes.
Oh,
We're at
wow.
the halfway point of, I don't know.
of a decade.
Sure.
Cinco.
Hello, guys. Welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone. So, last week's episode, we talked about the first part of Moses,
The man.
the man.
The man right there. I'm telling you,
And listen, I get it.
Whew.
And so, if you guys haven't had a chance, please go and check out that episode because this episode is part 2
Yes.
of the man.
The man right Chea. You got to say that.
The man right Chea.
You can't say the man without saying the man right Chea.
He's technically the person who actually wrote the first, I think, 5 books of the Bible.
Literally.
I think is what it is.
Yes.
So, but this episode, this week, we're going to actually talk about more of his actual miracles.
Yes.
And everything that he did to help let his people
Go.
give us free.
Give us free. Oh, was he the first homicide? I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that.
Well, you know.
I mean, I don't know.
He may have been. Honestly, we don't know.
I don't know.
But what we do know is he had ran off and got married.
Yes.
Had himself 2. You said 2 kids?
2 kids.
Okay.
Their names escape me. I know one is Jerome, Gershon. I don't know.
Something like that.
Somebody. And then Eliezer was the second one.
Yeah, I don't think they are ever really mentioned further on from the Bible.
Their names do pop up, but I
is
don't
that
know.
just in the family tree?
I think
thing
so.
when
I don't
they're
know, if they have a significant. Look.
Right. If
Okay.
it's the begat things.
Begat.
Yeah. But I was, doing my research. Okay, because first of all, I had already told you I watched Prince of Egypt. I done watched it like 3 times now because, I don't know why not. But
And I watched the whole thing of the 10 Commandments from 1956.
Right.
Shout out to Cecil DeMille, baby.
Oh, good Lord. We're not going to talk about these people again. But I did because, yes, Miss Jaye actually encouraged me to go and watch that movie. So I did.
Right.
It was all off. I will tell you that right now.
It was so dramatic.
Okay. It was very long. I think I fell asleep.
It's actually 3 hours and 56 minutes.
I think I fell asleep.
And there's a whole intermission.
I saw the curtain.
With the curtains, right. And the music and the orchestra. So you could get up and get your own popcorn and take a bathroom break.
Oh, my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I actually fell asleep. I ain't going to lie, y'all. I fell asleep about 56 minutes into it and then woke up and I was like, doggone it, I have to rewind all this. It was so long. I was like, what is happening? But it was super dramatic and just completely way off. And so, remember I was telling you, because one of the things that I don't know why nobody wants to touch on it, is about Moses' speech impediment. Because when you read the actual Bible, it comes up several times.
It does. And I felt so bad for him. I was like, dang.
Yeah, because he was like, I can't. He's
this.
like, I don't communicate well. God's like, shut up.
You gonna do it.
I'm telling you, is the chosen one.
Right. Can you just imagine? Because Adam didn't give him no lib. Noah didn't give him no lib. Everybody else that came before Moses, but here Moses is like, I really don't. I don't think I'm the guy for this. I don't know who you thought I was, but I don't think I am.
Right.
But God's like, yeah, you are. Speech impediment and all.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what he said. He was like, listen, all right, fine. Your older brother is eloquent. I think he said speaks eloquently or something like that. And so Aaron, he was like, Aaron, he's going to help you out. Don't you worry. But peep this, what I had read that I didn't know. Did you know that at one point in time, God actually tried to kill Moses?
Yes. And depending on where we are in our discussion, I guess we can pick that up, not right now, but later on, because he mentions it. Yeah. And Sephora actually saves him too.
Right.
So I'm like, what's this beef that God got between Moses that we didn't really catch?
So, I mean, he got married. We know that he went to go save the ram or whatever, came across the burning bush.
Right.
And that's when God was like, hey, come here real quick. Let me talk to you
Listen real closely.
And was like, hey, this holy ground, you can't be just having your dirty shoes all up on my space like that. Take them nasty things off. Because I don't blame God, right? Because if my spirit is in an area,
right,
and you've been out there tending to the sheep's flocks and all that stuff, I'm sure you got manure on the bottom of your sandals.
You got to, yeah.
So you're going to take that off before you approach me.
Right.
And I think, you know, God's pretty much telling Moses, like, listen, I've heard the cries of my people. I need you to go back on over to Egypt. You know, I get that you're enjoying this whole, you know, experience and your
soft life.
Right, the soft life. You out here living good with your people and your wife and your kids. But everybody else is still back there being tortured, whipped slaves.
So let me just hop in really fast because I have to reference the movie because I always do. So, first thing, Pharoah, his wife, as we know her, she saw him. She's the one who saw him first laying, you know, taking a nap or whatever. But she has 6 other sisters. And when they saw him, they went bananas. They're like, oh my God, it's a man. Oh my God. And they all like lobbied to get Moses' attention. And he was like, no, I'm not finna do all that. I'm finna feel all that. And then, you know, as we read in the scripture, he chooses Pharoah and they, you know, create a family. But I just wanted to mention how dramatic the movie made it. Like the girls actually had to dance, like a dance of veils for the dad and like the other sheiks, however, in Midian. And they were doing that to say, well, you gonna choose me, Moses, or what?
Oh.
And he was like, I'm still not, you know, in a position to get a wife, so to speak.
Is this kind of like...
Yep. I know what you're going to say.
It's giving me very much so.
Just say it.
I should do this. I don't want to compare it to that one Stars show that we all love.
You talking about The Bachelor?
No.
Oh, Flavor of Love?
No, the Stars show.
Oh, wait.
The stripper show.
Not P-Valley.
Yes.
No, okay, no. The Dance of the Veils was not P-Valley-ish. It was not, very like...
Are we sure?
Not
like,
positive.
It wasn't putting on a whole show?
No, it was a show. They put on a show, but it was clean. It was like cling, cling, cling. And they had the veils and they were doing all of this. And Moses was like, yeah, that's cool, but... And Sephora didn't take part. She was like, y'all can go do that. I'm not dancing for no man.
Right.
They're like, well, we trying to get married. But he was like, no... I have a higher purpose. I don't even know what it is yet, but I don't think a wife would help right now.
Oh, no.
Right.
Excuse me.
But then him and Sephora started talking. He was like, you know, actually, I kind of like you. You could be by my side when this purpose is revealed.
Oh, my God.
She was like, bet. So that at that point, that's when Joshua, which is like randomly placed in the movie because he doesn't come in and out like this in the text. He was like, you got to get back to Egypt because I know the bush told you, but you got to get back to Egypt because our people are still suffering, bro. Ramses is done gone, you know, insane. So he's like, all right, cool. Let's go. Me, you, Aaron, let's mount up and go. And
regulators
mount up. And the way they came to Pharaoh in the scene was so hilarious because you know how when people bring kings offerings, right?
Right.
So there was I don't think it was Ethiopia. I forgot what land they said. It could have been Ethiopia. I don't know. But they brought Ramses some silk or something. I don't know.
Okay.
And they're like, "Ooh, silk. Yes, good fabric. Blah blah blah. Who else? Who's next?" And here comes Moses with the staff. And Aaron and Joshua, he was like, listen, I'm here to tell you, you need to let these people go. I'm not bringing you anything. I'm telling you what God told me, okay? And you need to listen and comply. And he was like, Ram was like, what is wrong with you? We just talked about this. I'm not doing that. He was like, no, you gonna do this. I'm gonna show you.
He put him on the spot.
Oh my gosh. He was like, I'm going to show you God's power right now. So that's what in the Bible, he turns his staff into a cobra.
Right.
So I don't know what happens in the animated movie because I don't remember.
Yeah.
But in the movie, the staff turns into a cobra and everybody's like, oh. And oh, by the way, Ramses has a son by now. He's like probably 8 or 7 or some crap. And with Nefertiti. Okay.
Okay.
And son's like, oh my gosh, Dad, it's a cobra. Ramses is like, that magic trick? Hey, come here real quick. I forgot the other guy's name. Let's go.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. what did we say? It was the high priestess
Yes.
of whatever
He
their
has
goddess.
a name in the movie. I forget. Giannis. Got it. Giannis.
So
Giannis.
in your movie is only one.
Yeah.
Okay, because in the Prince of Egypt there's two of them.
Well, there's a bunch, but the one that does it is
right. So,
Giannis.
but yeah, and the animated one is two.
Yeah.
They did it together.
So he was like, I see your cobra and I raised you another one. And so like 2 cobras pop out. But of course, the cobra that is, fashioned by God eats the other cobras.
Right.
And everybody's like, wait, that
and
ain't
now,
no regular trick.
That did actually happen as well.
Right.
In the Prince of Egypt. It was like,
yeah.
The staff turned into an actual snake.
Yeah.
They just pretty much opened baskets and 2 other snakes came out. And they was like, oh, you got a snake. So what? Big deal. Let's get these other snakes. And then they came slithering in. But yeah, God, the snake that God created, of course, ate and devoured the other ones. Now, in the actual Bible, that happens as well. But I do want to go back on real quick on the whole God trying to kill Moses.
Okay, yeah. Let's
that happened before he went back. So what I was reading was, because I just want to say, because we have talked about the fact that the women don't get mentioned enough, I want to give props to Sephora because she saved him.
Oh, I got something to tell you about Sephora too.
Okay, so we'll come back to that.
Sephora like I'm going to go my makeup Sephora.
Right. Well, I don't know how I'm pronounce it.
It means beauty, by the way. So,
right.
Okay.
Yeah. So after he had told Moses, you got to go back and go save the people. Right. And he was like, I don't know, I'm a stutter. I don't know. And so he finally was like, okay, fine. You keep talking to me about this. I guess I need to go.
I'm going to show you something.
Right. And so they start making their journey. And it doesn't go into a really good deep explanation, but it's just like, and God tried to kill Moses. And you're like, wait a minute.
What?
You're like, wait, what? Why did that happen?
Right.
And so it says, like God was angered with him. And so Sephora cuts the foreskin of their son.
Yes.
She throws it on Moses.
Yep.
Touches his area with the blood.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so when I was reading, it was saying because the Abraham lineage is supposed to be circumcised.
Yes.
Moses apparently was not circumcised.
Maybe that's why God was like, what?
And so he was like, wait a minute. I know I chose you and everything, but you need to be right, I guess.
Wait, are we saying God forgot something?
I don't know. It doesn't really go in the deep. It just says that had to happen, and she had to actually circumcise her child,
right,
and use the blood from the circumcision to cover, I guess.
Because Moses would have gotten circumcised had he grew up in
That's true.
the land
as a Hebrew, right, as an Israelite.
So
but
you can't really blame Moses,
right?
You blame his mama for putting him in the raft, and
right?
Him
but river. I guess it was more like God was like, I'm about to snatch you up because first of all, you keep arguing with me, and maybe like you said, maybe that was the problem because Moses had a lot of lip, and he just kept going back and forth with God, and he probably was like, I'm tired of you arguing back and forth with me. If you can't do what I asked you to do, then move out my way.
Please.
And so she was like, oh, wait a minute. No, hold on.
I got you.
Hold on. We're not going to, don't kill my man now.
She's a ride or die. You hear me?
She really was. Because I would have been like, I don't know what to do.
So really fast, what I did in my, learned rather in my research that Sephora, however she's pronounced, could have been a black woman.
Ain't no coulda. All these people is black. No. I don't know why you keep acting like this ain't Africa.
No, you are absolutely correct. But
there are no, hold on. For the audience out there, I don't have anything against any people of other races or colors, okay? But let's look at this factually. They are in Africa. There's no such thing as Britain Empire yet that have settled in South Africa. So there's no South Africans. They black.
But it's just she's a Cushite woman. So like that region.
I thought she's a Medianite.
She is a Medianite. But I guess her lineage is Cushite, and they're saying that those people, that sounds really bad, they did have a darker hued melanated skin. And if you look her name up, like if you Google it, you get a chance, you'll see images pop up that artists have fashioned, and she is a good chocolate brown sister next to this pasty behind Moses.
But you know what? And that's because they was wrong. I don't know why they tried to make Moses. They keep trying to make Moses in a lot of these images like he's Gandalf.
I'm gonna get up.
Which I know.
That's your second time saying Gandalf. I'm about to get up.
It was. It really is our second time. But honestly, I mean, there is a lot of resemblance, which we gonna talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, everybody they're black. I don't know why people act like they want black over there.
You're right, but I wanted to point that out because she wasn't black in the movie, and I'm sure she wasn't black in the animated movie.
Well, she was.
She was
about my skin color, if not a little bit darker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's because, again, like we talked about before, this is animation, so they actually drew people the right color that they should be, and didn't put blackface on them. But that's okay.
Ooh. Okay. That's a shot at you, Charlton Heston.
It's really not shot because back then that's just what they did, and I really think that he did a great job in his performance. He really did.
He did.
All of them did.
They all did, and we were represented in this movie too. We, as in black folk, there was a lot of like background, and like I said in part one, the Ethiopians that came to visit him, I forget, but they were black. So we were represented. But anyway.
So there were. So anyways, so shout out to Sephora because she did save her man. Because God was like, you know what?
You get on my nerves.
You get on my nerves, and I know I chose you, but I just don't think. Anyways, so she saved him. They end up traveling back, which it honestly doesn't make it seem to me like the land they're living in is that far away. Because they don't make it sound like it's like a whole bunch of journeys.
It was probably like what Sandy Springs is to Buckhead. Because in the movie, they dramatize it like he was just trotting across the desert and happened to fall upon like the lush greenery of Midian. Right. I don't think it was that far.
Right. Yeah. They made his escape journey seem far, but then when he went back, he was like, it was like all of a sudden we back.
And then when he went back, he didn't look distressed at all. He was like, listen, I'm telling you something real quick.
Right. So, all right. So he links up with his brother. I can't remember whether or not he went back and found his brother or his family came out that way in the actual Bible. Yeah. I feel like they came out there and found him as well.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out how that conversation goes between him and his brother. Like if he's like, hey, Aaron.
What's up?
So while I was out there, doing my thing, living with the tribes and stuff, I came across a burning bush.
A what?
Yeah, you heard me. It was a whole bush that was burning, but it didn't.
Moses, let me just stop you right there, because if a bush is burning, it would burn.
Yeah, but this one didn't. So that's, of course, that that made me curious. So I did try to ignore it. I ain't gonna lie. But then a voice came from me on that bush. A voice. And it turned out to be the Lord, our God.
The Lord.
Yes, the
Lord, our God.
Mm-hmm.
Him. Moses, stay right there.
Yes.
Mom! That's probably how it went down.
Yeah, him from upstairs, or as we said, Daddy G.
Daddy G. Sky Daddy.
Has given me a word.
Yes.
And so he wants me to come back and set our people free.
Okay. What you want me to do about that?
Well, I don't. I'm not an eloquent speaker. So he said that you was gonna help me to talk.
I've been in Egypt land. Okay, I've been there while you was floated down the river. Okay, I know how tough it is down there. You want me to take you down there to go free our people?
Yeah. I mean, what you gonna do? You gonna tell God no?
Do you? I'm not going to tell God no. But do you have like support? Do you have any weapons? Do you have any armor? What do you have?
I have the staff.
The staff?
Yes.
The staff?
Yes.
The staff?
The staff.
What the staff going to do, brother?
I don't know, but God said for me to give it to you.
Why I got to carry it?
Because you have to do the speaking.
Why? What? I'm sorry. That's not what... I don't know. I'm not doing that.
No, yeah. That's what he said.
So you telling me when we go in front of the king, in front of Ramesses... I gotta be the one to tell him to let the people go.
Yep.
Well, what are you gonna do?
I mean, I'm gonna be right there with you. I'm gonna stand there.
Hold on again. Ma! See, this is why we got beef, Moses. Poor Aaron.
And this is why I say they don't be giving Aaron no props, because it was really Aaron who did the talking. Moses would have the staff, but he would pass it off to Aaron and be
I
like,
swear.
Aaron, say, like, I don't wonder if, so he says this to Aaron. And so I guess Aaron, again, these people are strong in their faith. And so Aaron's like, okay, let's go. They go talk to the Pharaoh.
Aaron has no choice. As the older brother, like, fine.
Yep, right. So when they roll up to this palace in the Bible, and they approach Pharaoh, see that the actual old Pharaoh is died, and it's Ramses, or as they said in the cartoon, Ramesses. Which I was like, that's so awkward.
It's weird.
But he sees it's Ramses, which we know they grew up together. Yeah. I mean, he's probably like, oh, well, first of all, what happened to the Pharaoh? Oh, he's dead. Okay. But Ramses, okay, well, I have a word from God. And then he just turns and looks at Aaron like, take it away, Aaron.
It's probably Aaron. God. Okay. Look, Ramses, I don't know you like that. Okay. I wasn't here for all this cousin brother rivalry that y'all had growing up. I wasn't here for that. But basically, God said to let the people go. Can you do this?
No.
Okay. So then this is where the whole the snakes pop up with the staff and everything. He's like, well, I'm just show you. So I can just imagine Aaron like, I can't. These are some hard.
Right. Because like you said, it ain't like he grew up in the palace. He probably trembling and scared as hell.
Because you're literally in front of a Pharaoh.
Right.
Who can just snap his fingers and banish you or put you to death.
Right. So because he don't have that personal relationship like Moses does. I would be side eyeing Moses all day. Because I'd be like, well, why you got me up here? Like, is this a setup? You set me up, bro?
Literally.
I don't understand why you can't say what you need to say. But fine. So he does it. And like you were saying earlier, he puts the staff, turns to a snake. Then in the actual Bible, it says that their priests actually are able to turn. I can't remember what they said they turned. I don't know if it's other staffs or whatever, but they actually did turn something into their snakes.
Right.
And then, God's snake devoured the other ones.
Yes. And so I have a real phobia of snakes. That was hard to even though the CGI back then.
Yeah, how did you? Oh my goodness.
Well, okay, so for me, just to stop really fast, I was able to kind of shift my eyes away because they didn't look real at all. They looked like puppets.
It really
did. They looked like they're on a string. So I was like, okay, cool. But, when they first transformed, I said, oh, nope, can't watch that. But let's carry on.
So that was the beginning, right? Pharaoh pretty much was like, so you turned a rod into a snake. So did they. Get out of here.
Right.
Get out of here, kid.
Get out of here.
He's like, kick rocks. No. How about that? No, I'm still not going to let your people go. Absolutely go on now. Stop playing with me.
So in the movie, Ramses, even though the snake swallows the other two snakes, Ramses is like, okay, that was cool and all, but here's what I'm about to do. So he prohibits straw from being provided to the Hebrews to make their bricks. So he essentially made their job harder and blamed Moses for it. He was like, oh, so you want to come here all big and bad? I got something for you. I'm not letting them go, but what they about to do is make their jobs harder. So he just flexed all of his Pharaoh-like muscles at that moment.
Sounds like a super hater.
And then they pulled Moses away to stone him, but Nefertiti kind of Nefertiti child.
See, so wait. So his own people was going to stone him. The people he was sent to set free.
Well, not his people, Pharaoh's people. Pharaoh's like, get out of my face. Like, you keep coming here with this rah-rah about letting these people go. I'm going to give you something, you going to understand. You going to hear me.
Yeah, but I thought it was the Israelites that was going to try to stone Moses.
It's not clear in the movie.
Okay.
So, I thought it was his people was getting ready to stone him, and Nefertiti was like, wait, no, hold on.
Oh, see, yeah. I think in the Bible, it was because he doesn't immediately take the straw and stuff, because in the actual Bible, he does the same thing. But it's not until let's see, so he turns the rod into the serpent.
Yeah.
And he's like, whatever, get out of here with these magic tricks. And then then the next day they come back again. They're like, hey, God said, let my people go. Stop playing with us. And he's like, I'm going to turn all the water in the land into blood.
So that's the start of the plagues.
Okay.
So, yeah. He tells him, or it comes out that since you don't do right by God, he's going to send these plagues out, and that's going to show you that he means business.
Right.
So in the Bible and in the movie, he turns the water into blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when it happens in the movie, it's so basic, but it's cool though. Because like literally he puts the staff in the water, and like the water is tinged gold. I'm thinking because it's like lined gold with like the pool or whatever. It just turns red. It's just like, pew.
Yeah. And that's kind of how they did it in the animated one. He just stuck of course they keep showing it as Moses sticks the staff in the water, and then the it turns into blood.
But Aaron was the one who stuck the staff.
But in the actual Bible, it was Aaron doing these miracles.
Poor Aaron.
But
no props.
None. They're so shady, anyways. But yeah, so in the animated one, he puts it in the river. The people, because the Pharaoh, he's like floating on a yacht basically, and Moses comes to the bank. He's like, "Hey, this is the second time I come here to tell you, let my people go." And he's like, "Whatever,
right?
Feed me my grapes, peasant." While they're like drifting down the river, and so when he turns it, and then Moses is shouting something. He's like, "I'm tired of you," so he sends his guards. He's like, "Jump in the water, go get him." And that's when he turns it into blood, and then the guards like, right? And they're like, no,
they freaked out. They're like, oh,
and they start when they like, it's blood, and then the Pharaoh puts his hand in the water, scoops it up, and says, "Oh, it's blood." Right. And so he looks to the priest. He's like, "Explain this," and they're like, "Oh, we can do that too." And they literally turn their backs around and have a bowl of water, and then they like tear off a packet and pour like Kool-Aid, like some red dye, into water and stir it up real quick, and then turn back towards him and like, "See, it's just that we can do the same thing." And he's like, "Oh, that's not that big of a deal then." So now in the actual Bible, it does say that the priests are able also to still turn the water actually into blood. So I don't know if I'm assuming they're using, I guess they're praying to their gods. They have
false idols everywhere.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. Of course, the Bible don't go that deep into that. But it does say that they are able to turn water into blood.
Let me just read really fast.
Okay.
A part of the scripture. Exodus 7:17 through 18 says, "With the staff that is in my hands, I will strike the water of the Nile, and it will be changed into blood. The fish in the Nile will die, and the river will stink, and the Egyptians will not be able to drink its water."
Wow.
Them poor fish. We've talked about the sea life for the past couple of episodes in this Bible. They've been going through it.
The fish, I'm telling you, they're over everybody. They can't live.
I'm tired of it. So this was plague 1.
Right. And so it says that actually what happens is not even just the water in the river turns into blood. Everything in the city that is of water turns into blood. And it disappears except for in the Nile. The Nile stays for 7 days.
Yes.
With the blood.
Right.
And so Pharaoh's still like, well, whatever, it don't matter. We can still drink or whatever. And they were going to some other place.
Boiling water and hoping that
listen, I guess so. But I think they were going to another like a pond or lake or whatever to get water. I don't know. They went into something.
He went and outsourced his water.
Listen, you better not be drinking no Georgia water. I'll tell you that, man. Just stuff. We do know they had no fluoride in that water back then. I bet you they had that. But then, so, of course, they go back again. And it's like, "Hey,
yo,
let my people go." And he's like, no, like, he probably, at this point, he's fed up. He's like, "Why? How many times I gotta keep telling you?
Why do you keep coming back here?
Why you keep coming back here?" And so, now, mind y'all, God keeps telling Moses, "You gonna have to keep talking to him, because I'm gonna keep hardening his heart. Because I need to be able to show my miracles so that my people can have stronger faith. I don't know why he thought they need stronger faith, because again, these people seem to have
They've seen everything.
Yeah, they have some good faith, but maybe I guess after hundreds of years of being slaves, I mean, you might kind of start losing a little bit of faith, but I don't know.
I would. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So this one is the second one then, right? So this one is the plague of frogs.
Ugh.
And so he has him go back down to the river again, put the staff, and it calls the frogs. Now, I know you say you don't care at all for the snakes.
No, ma'am.
Mine is frogs. Jesus. Okay? Mm-mm. I don't want nothing slimy, anything that can jump on me. Yeah. You know, I feel like I think I'm fast enough to run away from a snake, but a frog, for whatever reason, I feel they're just too spontaneous, and it might just jump on me. So
it will.
I don't know why, but they freak me out. And so the whole city was pretty much consumed with these nasty, slimy frogs.
The Bible says they will come up into your palace and your bedroom and onto your bed, into the houses of your officials and on your people and into your ovens and kneading troughs. The frogs will go up on you and your people and all your officials. I don't want a frog in the bread I'm about to bake for my family.
It's as they were everywhere.
That's gross. That's
everywhere.
And if I was a pharaoh, by plague 2, I'd have been like, all right, y'all free.
Now,
this is it.
Right. And I will say this, by plague 2, I don't know where his little priest homies is at, but they ain't nowhere now at this point. He can't even look to them and be like, well, can y'all combat? Because, I mean, what you going to do? Combat frogs with frogs?
Ha!
It's one thing to show,
it's like playing whack-a-mole.
Right. Okay, we can show that, we can make serpents. Yeah, we can show that we can turn the water into blood. We can't call no multitude of frogs. No. So that would be stupid. So they ain't nowhere to be found. So he's like pleading at this point to Moses and Aaron. It's like, okay. If you just take the frogs away, and then I'll let your people go.
Right. And what happens?
So Moses prays to God and says, okay, he's heard our people's cry. Take the frogs away. They go away, and then Pharaoh was like, psych.
Yeah. Thank you. Pharaoh was, he was like, yeah, take him away. Yeah, I'm gonna let him go. As soon as the last frog left the land, psych. What? Man, I promise you. And in the movie, we don't see all of the plagues take place. So we saw the blood, the water turned into blood, and 2 others. We're gonna get to it as we go through the plagues.
Right.
But yeah, Pharaoh was like, psych, nope. They're still in bondage, and they're gonna be in bondage until I say they can come out.
And I think this is the one that at this point in the actual Bible, I think this is the one where he's like, the Pharaoh is like, okay, you keep doing these things to me. Now I'm gonna take the straw and the stuff away.
Okay.
You have to make your own straw. And then the people begin to kind of like have an attitude with Moses. They're like, hold on, you making our job harder, bruh. Like, he's punishing us because of the things that you do. We know that you're saying that you're here because God's trying to set us free, but we ain't free yet. And you keep making all these problems for us.
Gave Moses much attitude. Like,
they had so much attitude.
At this point, I don't believe you.
And at this point in time, when you're reading the Bible, you're like, you know what? You know how your mama say, when people show you who they are, you need to believe them. That's how I felt Moses and Aaron should have been, because these people became such a problem.
Oh my God.
Further down, which we will get to. But yeah, so they like, oh, you causing all these problems and you making us work harder, And then I think that's when they were like, we got to get rid of Moses. Mm-hmm. And then Moses is like, God, I don't know what to do, because you told me that this is a thing, but they out here, they're trying to kill me now because they saying that I'm making things work for him. And God's like, hey, chill out. I told you.
I got you.
He's like, I already warned you that his heart was going to be hardened, that it was going to be rough. What you thought this was? You thought it was going to be an easy walk in the park. Like, nah, you're trying to actually set thousands of people free. They're slaves. It ain't going to be like it's easy to do.
Nope.
So after Pharaoh was like, psych, I ain't letting them go, then I think that's when God was like, all right, I'm sure we've done these small little miracles. Now we're about to step up the game.
Let's amp it up a little bit.
Yeah, he was like, rev it up. And
Plague
so,
3. Plague 3.
Plague 3. Plague of gnats.
And lice.
Ew.
Now, let me just pop in really quick. 'Cause we actually had a gnat problem, last year at the building where I work. They have a car lot, a car detailing place near the garbage area, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the people washed my car, right, and left my daggone doors open. So when I got my car, it was like full of gnats. And I had to drive around with the windows down for like 2 weeks to get these gnats out of my car. So I can only imagine how the people of Egypt
Can you
felt.
imagine that many gnats? I mean, covering everything. Just even the word alone is a gross sounding word. It's an annoyance of a word, a gnat. And so he sends it's everywhere. It's just like how the frogs were. The gnats were everywhere. And they were like, okay, I think the Egyptians went to Pharaoh and was like, hey, why we keep going through this? Pharaoh was like, all right, Moses, all right, okay. If you have the gnats go away, I'll let your people go. Did it, same thing again. Psych. He's like, nope, I'm not doing it. So then the next one was
Plague 4.
Now, in the actual Bible, it says that this is the other thing that a lot of things people don't go in deep and show you. When they were doing these first sets of plagues, it wasn't just affecting the Egyptians. It was also affecting the whole land.
The land, yeah.
So even the Israelites and the Hebrews, all of them were being affected.
What is going on? Yeah.
So it says in the Bible, the next one,
right,
swarm of flies. Mm-hmm. That is when God was like, okay, y'all keep playing with me. Now I'm not even going to put it on the land. I'm only going to affect just the Egyptians and the Pharaoh. Yeah. So a swarm of flies, which that's just, ew.
Every plague, this is so funny to me. Every plague that comes, it's obviously detrimental. It goes away. Pharaoh's like, nope, I'm still not letting y'all go. I just understand, why did it take this many plagues for this man to be like, I don't know about that.
I don't know. Let me tell y'all what I would be doing if I was there. I would be packing up my stuff.
Wait, as an Israelite or an Egyptian?
Either one.
Okay.
I'm leaving. I'm not staying. If I'm an Egyptian, this nasty, okay? And I don't want to raise my family up in this nastiness. Right. I would turn my whole snobby nose up. Ew. We're going north, family. Right. That's what I would do. And if I was an Israelite and if I was a slave, I mean, it ain't like they had them chained up. I know that's how it looked in the movies, but in the Bible, I mean, they still had their own houses and stuff. Yeah. But you gonna have to find me because we out.
I'm not coming out today.
No, man, I'm not doing it.
You see what's out there, right? I'm not going out there. They're in my house anyway. So that's plague 4, the swarm of flies. And then going up to plague 5 is the pestilence of livestock. Mm-hmm. And let me just read what the scripture says.
Okay.
It says, if you refuse to let them go and continue to hold them back, the hand of the Lord will bring a terrible plague, really, on your livestock, in the field, on your horses and donkeys and camels and cattle and sheep and goats and ram, potatoes, tomatoes, all of them. Everybody got it.
Everybody gonna get it.
You name it. That's crazy because literally your livestock is your livelihood. So you really could not, you'd risk a chance of eating,
right,
a cow or something or a little sheep, lamb baby or whatever.
Yep. And this is, so now mind you, again, this is at the point where it's only the Egyptians that are being affected.
Right.
So in the Bible, it says, the Lord did just as he said. The next morning, all the livestock of the Egyptians died, but the Israelites didn't lose a single animal. Shame. Pharaoh sent his officials to investigate, and they discovered that the Israelites had not lost a single animal.
Can you imagine?
Not a one.
Here you go. I'm from the palace, and I saw your cow. It looks feed. Where'd you get that cow from?
I mean, he's been here. We've had these cows for like, I don't know, since they were birthed.
Because just yesterday, the cows back behind the gate, they just,
That's your fault.
What you mean our fault?
You need to go talk to your Pharaoh about that. Because he don't want to let us go.
Oh, that's why we lost our cow?
Yeah. I don't know where you've been, but Moses, who's been sent by God, has been out here pretty much trying to get your Pharaoh to act right. He don't want to act right. And so, so now your place is basically cursed. Curse upon you, okay?
and your house.
Curse upon you. Curse upon your houses. Curse upon your kids. Curse upon your livestock.
And your cattle.
Everybody gonna get it. Sorry. And so, I don't understand why. I think, is it this one? No, nope. It still ain't even. That's the sad part.
Yeah, so, we still not even halfway there yet.
Man. So again, why the Egyptians ain't leaving? Why are they still like? Cause to me, I've been like, Pharaoh, if you listen, you want to be this prideful, that's on you and your kinfolk. The rest of us, we leaving. I ain't got time to stand around here and deal with this nasty foolishness.
So what I think it is just the same way how the Israelites believed in Moses as, the proclaimed deliverer, or like they appointed him to deliver it. Mm-hmm. The Egyptians had all the faith in Pharaoh, or just all the dedication to him. So I guess if he ain't getting up, they not gonna get up.
Whatever. That's a whole lot of faith. Because I'm telling y'all right now, I ain't doing it. That's nasty. Especially after this next one.
Ooh. So plague 6. The boils.
Plague of my Bible says festering boils. Okay. Festering boils. Now, I don't know about y'all if you know what a boil is and if you've ever had one. They are very painful.
And they're gross.
And they are disgusting.
Ew.
And so everyone, and again, this is only the Egyptians at this point. They're getting these big, blistering, festering boils popping and exploding. And it's just nasty.
Pus leaking.
It's just gross. And it's not just the people. It's the people and the Egyptian livestock again.
Yeah,
now,
animals,
hold on. I just want to talk about this real quick. At this point, if we going to go back to the animals, I know y'all hear us talk about the animals because I be feeling bad for the cows and stuff. If I am a whole lamb or a cow and I'm getting boils just because I'm owned by you, I'm going to have a problem.
I'm going to have a whole attitude.
Right. So don't be coming to me. I'm a cow. You come to me looking at me for some milk, I'm going to kick you.
Here you go. Essie. My sweet Essie.
What you want?
I need some milk.
Nope. Can't do it.
Wait, let me just.
Nope. Don't touch me. You know why?
Why?
Because I got boils all over my body. That's why. I can't even. I don't want to be touched. Okay, I got boils. Don't touch me. I'm not comfortable. Everything hurts.
But Essie, I need some milk.
No. No, I want to go. Can y'all not do right? Poor animals just minding their own business. I just want to move. I just want to eat some grass.
In peace.
But I'm getting struck by plagues because y'all don't have right. Because mind you, again, in the beginning, if everything was affecting the land, that means the cows was running over by the flies, the gnats, the frogs, all of that. They was getting it. And then on top of that, now I got boils all up in my udder. Ew. Ew. The animals probably tiptoeing because they can't talk. I'm pretty sure they got boils on the bottom of their feet. Right. At this point, I'm just gonna lay over. Right. They would be so sick of me if I was an animal.
There was no dairy production for life.
No, none. Let me tell you, I'm gonna fall down. I'm gonna be so dramatic. I can't. Why? Why, Lord?
Lord, why me? How I get into it?
Right. And then I'll be mad because this is only the livestock. So the birds can fly around. They fine. It's literally just the chickens, goats, lambs, cows.
Them birds like, ha ha.
The serpents and then the anything else that is not livestock, they fine. Right.
That's crazy.
But poor Bessie got boils and on her udder.
On her udder.
That's so gross. So either way, guess what? He still refused to let them go
Yeah.
after
So-
all that.
So now we've reached Plague 7. Now this is shown in the movie, the thunderstorm of hail and fire. Now, okay, I had to say this because it was so funny how it happened to me. So in the movie, Moses and Ramses have a conversation. I don't know why they're still like talking. Well, I mean, I know why essentially, but if I was Moses, I'd be like, you know what, just send the plagues. I'm not even gonna talk to him because he gonna get it at some point. But anyway, they have a conversation, and Ramses is still like, I'm not letting none of y'all go. Get out of my face,
Right?
and that's when Moses is like, all right, it's gonna be a thunderstorm of hail and fire. You ain't gonna like it. And he walks away, and literally within like 2 seconds, here come the storm of hail and fire. And it was like bloop, 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 bloop. Like you can't even like walk like
Right.
to your front door without getting hit by a stray piece of hail and like
Yeah.
a piece of flame.
Now, in Prince of Egypt, they kind of gloss over it real quick. They show it, but it's like, remember I told you they don't go deep into the plagues in Prince of Egypt.
They
They're
had
like,
to
we
keep
ain't
the
got
light for
time,
the
so it's just
kids.
the whole montage. So they kind of glance over it. But in the Bible, it says that the pieces of hail was so big that it was killing people. So this ain't like little like golf ball size. It's big, massive pieces of hail.
These are hockey pucks.
It's kind of like we talked about with Sodom and Gomorrah. It's probably like meteorites and stuff coming down, striking people, knocking folk out. Like, can you imagine you just
setting their little houses on fire and the little straw roof?
That's like if you and I right now we talking all of a sudden, bloop,
like whoa,
something just come busting through the roof, knock you right in your head, knock you out, dome, boom. I'm pretty sure these people was just mind their business, going to the store. hey, Paul, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the store. I'm gonna run to the supermarket.
Okay.
Open the door, they walk in. Boom.
What the?
Straight to the dome. People just being knocked upside their head.
Is it raining fire?
And hail at the same time.
Why is one not canceling out the other?
Right. Like that would be awkward. And then, but again, like, just can you imagine just getting knocked upside the head with a whole piece of hail? And it was finally at that moment is when the Egyptians went to the Pharaoh, it says in the Bible, and was like, hey,
we can't take it anymore.
They was like, we can't deal with this no more. Can you please just let these people go? Because why are you making us suffer now? Because of your pride. Like, we can't take this no more. They're like, please, go and let these folk go.
This is Pharaoh. Nah.
Now, in this very moment, people, this is when I would have to kind of pull and go back to good old Julius Caesar. And I would have to plan some type of assassination of Pharaoh.
I would have been plotting.
Would have been plotting. As I told you this week, beware the Ides of March. So that's what we would have had a whole scheme plotted to take Pharaoh out. Because you affecting me too much because of your pride.
Please.
So, but he still said no. And I don't know why the people didn't kill him, because I've been like, you got to go.
Why they didn't kill him? Why they didn't leave?
Because how am I supposed to respect you as my leader?
Right.
When you're letting us suffer for these other folk because you want to still have control.
Like, I could make a break for you if it's like, if that's what you need.
You know what this reminds me of? And this is what you always say it reminds you of. But this honestly is kind of like, remember in the Games of Thrones season when she went to go free the slaves? When Daenerys went to go free them? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that the owners was like, it's not right. We have a right to own these people.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, you don't.
She's like, I'm about to break this wheel.
Right. And then the slaves were fine with being slaves almost.
Yeah.
Because they were like, we didn't know anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, no, you need to.
You have a choice.
You have a choice, and your life should be your own to live.
Right.
And so you have some of the slaves, remember, actually rebelled against her. Because they were like, you making it worse for us.
Yep.
And then the people, the owners, the masters, if you will, they tried to kill her because they were like, you trying to send me. Girl, there's so many different things nowadays. And when you look at it, it reminds you so much of what actually happened in the Bible.
That's true.
That's crazy. So anyways, so he still didn't let him go. We go to yet another plague because we ain't done.
Number 8, the locust.
Plague of locusts.
That's
Ew.
nasty.
Ew.
That's also loud and nasty because locusts ain't quiet.
Now, locusts are not currently everywhere, right? Is it just the South?
I feel like it is just the South.
I think so. Because I know when I lived in Texas, I think we had some there and we have some here in Georgia. So if you have never experienced or seen a locust, it's an interesting looking bug. It's could be about the size of your hand.
My skin is like actually crawling. Just
they
thinking
like
about
shed their own skin. They leave like shells behind. It's really gross. It really is. And when they say they devour stuff like plants and anything that they eat, they really do. It's quite nasty.
Wow.
So he sent I'm gonna read real quick on in my Bible. It says, then the Lord said to Moses, return to Pharaoh and make your demands again. I've made him and his officials stubborn so I can display my miraculous signs among them. I've also done it so you can tell your children and grandchildren about how I made a mockery of the Egyptians and about the signs I displayed among them. And so you will know that I am the Lord. So again, God was plotting this whole time because he's like,
how you like me now?
Right. He's like, listen, I'm gonna show you how powerful I am. Because at this point, maybe people did forget because they do be playing God in the Bible. Like,
all in his face.
Yeah, they be like, I mean, it started with, like we said, with Cain and Abel. And he was like, yeah, I don't know who my brother is. Like, and then, all the other evil that people were doing. And it's like, why y'all keep testing him? So I think at this point he was fed up and was like, you know what? I'm about to show y'all all of my power.
But even when he was fed up, Pharaoh still said, nah.
He sure did.
And yet another plague happened.
And a whole nother one.
Now, this plague number 9, 3 days of darkness.
Whew.
I don't know about y'all, but I think I could have managed this plague okay as an Israelite or an Egyptian.
I would have just slept.
Boom, boom. That's it. It's dark. We can't work. Okay. Gone.
Right.
I would have slept through all 3 of those days.
I would have put on my satin bonnet and laid on out.
You know they had satin bonnets back then.
I'm pretty sure they did. Especially the Egyptians. Okay. They was covered in like you said, satin and silks and gold.
But of course we know, being that 3 days of darkness means 3 days of no production, no work, no nothing. So True. Everything in the whole city just went flat, halted.
Right.
So yeah, that plague seems like it would be easy, but essentially it's not because there's no work being done and you're losing, valuable time because there's no daylight.
Yeah. And the Bible's kind of really descriptive on that too. It says the plague of the darkness, that it said the darkness is so dark and thick that you'll feel it.
Now that also plays into your mental state too.
Yeah.
So that's God. I see you.
Right.
It ain't just about it's dark. It's can you handle that darkness?
It's like we talked about in Genesis about the
creation.
No, when the prisoners when they get thrown into solitary confinement, and they be just in there in darkness,
just sitting there,
So
wow, the whole city was just in solitary confinement.
Pretty much.
Oh, ooh.
And so, yeah, and like you said, for several days.
And even after this plague, Pharaoh said, no, y'all still work for me.
He sure did.
And now we've reached this plague now, the last plague, plague 10. This
after all
that, right.
We still had to have one more plague.
One more plague to go. And honestly, it didn't even have to go this far because this one now is a little bit like, dang. This plague 10 is the death of the firstborn son. Mm-hmm. Now, in the movie, you got to tell me if it's like in the Bible too.
Okay.
Because in the movie, Ramses himself, because he was mad at all the plagues, he was like, you know what? I got something for all of y'all. I want all the firstborn male Hebrews to die. I'm going to call that order. Moses like, you fool. God's going to do that and give you double for your trouble. So that's when the plague of the darkness, the plague of the first death of the firstborn son.
Mm.
Because God was like, you're not going to do that. I got something better for you. So every firstborn son will die in Egypt, will die. And that included Pharaoh's son with Nefertiti. Now, she got mad. She was like, not you dragging my baby into this. And like once he said that, to visualize this happening in the movie, there's like a literal dark cloud that looks like a fog, and it like comes, it's like, and it's like meandering through like the city, and you hear like all these random screams, like no, mommy, no. And one of Pharaoh's King's Guard, he says, "Hey, go and tell what's about to happen." He said, "Okay, cool." He makes a step to go fulfill his command. I forget what it was, and dies. He was like, Pharaoh's like, "Wait." He said, "Hey, was that your firstborn son?"
Dang.
He said, "Yeah."
Oh snap! So wait, so it wasn't even just so in the movie. So in the Charlton Heston movie,
yes,
it's not just the firstborn of new kids.
Yes,
it's any firstborn.
Anybody can get it.
Anybody.
Yes.
Can, oh,
that's
wow.
why I was like, I got you. I got something for you, you old Pharaoh.
Oh wow. Yeah, in the Bible it says it is the firstborn. It doesn't really say if it's firstborn of new kids or not, but it does say firstborn of Egyptians and firstborn of their livestock too.
Oh yeah.
So here we go again. The poor cow done lost their child.
Yep.
Because if it's the firstborn. So
yep.
In the Prince of Egypt, something similarly, if that's a word, forgive me, y'all, happens. It's not like a fog cloud, but they show this black swirl of a thing, magically looking thing that comes down and goes through the alleys and the valleys and whatnot.
I just had a thought.
What?
Remember in the Crossroads, the video?
Oh my
Thugs
God.
of Harmony.
Oh wow.
They should have had it like that. They should have had Mr. Charles come by and go, pew. You firstborn, pew.
And just start knocking people out.
Hey.
Wow.
Firstborn, pew.
Yeah. Nah, God said I need to show my spirit going through in my power. And he just was like drifting. And, Moses had told all the Israelites, you need to kill a lamb or whatever.
Yeah,
and
the lamb's blood.
And use lamb's blood and mark your house.
Doors,
and as long as you mark your house, then your children will be safe. And stay your behind up in that house.
Yes.
Now, I will say one of the things that I wasn't expecting, but they did do this in the animated movie. They went down and showed in the Israelites' town where one family, I guess, forgot. I don't know how, but they just did. And that one of the kids was walking and unfortunately got taken. Yeah. Because the family didn't mark the post like you said. So it's like, hey, you got to be obedient, man.
Oh, wow.
But and yours, dang, so like a whole grown man got taken?
And this was kind of depressing. I'm not even going to lie to you because it seems like the King's Guard or whoever for Pharaoh, all the soldiers, they probably just forgot they were firstborn. So they'd be like walking and like, hoo! And then they kind of keel over. And then in the houses that are marked with the angel's blood, they're trying to like literally get through this plague. So like you see Moses and his family and close friends, whatever. I guess they're having the first Passover meal.
Yeah. They said that this is right after this is the beginning of when he claims this is the Passover.
Right.
In the animated one, you know how we talked about whether or not Noah and his family felt guilty because all those people was drowning. That's kind of like what they show in this one. It's like the Israelites are the ones who have the blood, the mark on their house. They're inside, but they can hear all of the screaming of the Egyptians who are, mourning their members that are like dying right in front of them.
Literally.
So, I mean.
And in the movie, one of Moses' sons, I guess he gets curious and he wants to hear what's going on. Or see rather. So he was like, what's that noise? And went to the door and somebody snatched him up. They're like, bring yourself over here.
It's like, close that door.
We're not crossing this door right now. Eat your food.
Sit down and eat your food. Mind your business.
Right.
Yeah, I do remember that scene when I did go back and watch the Charlton Heston one because when I was thinking, I said, hold up. I know I'm deviating a little bit, but when I watched the way they were setting it up, I said, "Why they got this looking like the Last Supper?"
Yeah,
They had it
the way they were sitting was like the Last Supper.
It was very much so posing these people around the table like it was Last Supper. I said, "No, they didn't. They need to stop." But either way, that was funny to me. But yeah, I mean that finally was the straw that broke the camel's back.
For Pharoah, yeah, because his son was affected. Like, everything, he was a...
But, I mean,
whatever,
but the boils affected his whole family too.
He didn't care about that.
He could have did something then.
He lost a whole child.
It ain't until you lost your whole child that you're finally like, just fine.
Right. Because his lineage was affected at this point. Like,
right. And then the animated one, he's like, okay, fine.
Oh.
My son is dead. Just leave.
That is not how it happened in the movie.
Oh, good Lord.
Again, Nefertiti, she's a bit of an ish starter. She was like, see what happened? You done let Moses back into this land again. And he done went through all this, and now my son's gone. What you finna do? He was like, he's mulling it over. And here she go. She said, you hear that? That's not the sound of despair. That's the sound of laughter. They're mocking you out there. He was like, what?
So she was hyping him up and instigating.
She put the battery in his back in this movie. She was like, you better do something for my baby. Because he had put the son on like an altar. I don't even know the god's name. But she was like, is he going to bring him back? Is that going to bring my baby back?
Oh, dang. So she was taunting and teasing him.
Yeah.
Like, what's that supposed to do?
Right.
My baby dead.
He got fed up with her. He was, you know what? I'm going to kill Moses. And I'm going to come back and kill you. And
dang.
She was like, bring it. Because she's like,
hold up. She was the OG.
She was like, fine, go ahead. Make sure it happens.
Right.
Make sure he dies this time.
Right. And then sure, if you think that you can kill me, come on, bring it.
And that's when the exodus from Egypt happens. And then he's like, y'all gotta get out of here. I'm done with y'all. Just go. You're free. Pack up and head south or whatever.
Right.
And it's a lot of them too in the movie. They really did good with that. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It just looked so
They
real.
did. They had kids, everybody, all the livestock.
Disabled. They had pregnant people. They had everything. Like, it was just like, okay. And then I think I mixed it up. After they left is when she was taunting him. Because then he was like, yo, I can't do this. We gotta go get him. I ain't gonna let him get off free like that.
Right.
And that's when they followed them to the Red Sea in the movie.
So something in his head just snapped. He was like, you know what? He can't get away with this.
Right.
He done killed my child. I'm coming for him.
And I think a lot of it had to do with how they grew up. Like, if he's thinking about all the times when his dad just put Moses on this pedestal and here I am, your actual son, and you're just like kind of playing me, I'm going to get you back.
I guess. I don't know. But in the animated movie, like I said, he was like, oh, just leave. And so Moses was like, all right, bye. And so they start leaving. And like we said earlier, once someone shows you who you are, believe them. Because I don't even think they made a good 2 days into the wilderness where they started complaining. They was like, oh, you done brought us out here to die. There's no water. They ain't nothing for us. We should, if you was gonna bring us out here just to die, we might as well stayed back home as slaves. How could you do this to us?
So hold up. In the animated movie, when did the Pharaoh and the chariots and stuff catch up to them?
So in the animated movie, again, because they only had like an hour and 50 something minutes, so again they kind of glossed over that.
They didn't want to do the 3 hour
like the people,
season of building.
Yeah, the people gathered up. They started singing a song.
Ciao.
Okay, they had a good like freedom song while they were marching away, and then they get to a place and they start resting, and then they hear the rumbles of the chariots coming out, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's the Pharaoh! He coming after us! Where can we go?" So they start running, and then they come across the river, and I'm assuming this is the Nile,
the Red Sea.
Oh, this is Red Sea. Yes. Yeah. Sorry, people. I need to know my geography. My bad. So yes, they come across the Red Sea, and they're like, "Oh my God, what are we gonna do now? Because we can't run in the water." And so Moses is like, "I don't know." He's like, "I don't know what to do." So he's like, "God, what do you want me to do? I don't know. We stuck. They coming." And so God sends that big like a tunnel of fire almost.
Right.
Like it looks like a tornado
Yeah.
comes down in between the Pharaoh and his army and the people.
Yeah.
And while that's slowing him up, he's like, take thy staff, say some words and some prayers,
good old
do
staff.
this, and we will part the whole Red Sea.
Now, in my natural mind, okay,
Mhm.
if I see on my left a pillar of fire, and on my right the sea done opened up to where I can see the ocean floor,
Mhm.
I'm gonna get stuck because
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, should I go that way or do I wait until the fire die
I
down?
know,
don't know.
I'm not going towards the fire, but I just don't. I don't know. In my whole entire life, I've never seen seas parted. So do I trust and go that way? I know. I'll tell you what. I wouldn't be the first one to take the step. I need to watch. It's,
Yeah, no.
forgive me, y'all, but we live in Atlanta.
Y'all
And this
go ahead.
reminds me of when the whole bridge burned down.
On 85?
Yes. The bridge, if y'all can look it up, but a whole bridge got set on fire. And it's a whole overpass of an
Yes.
actual interstate.
Mm-hmm.
Burned up. Okay, they try to blame the crackhead. I don't know why, but he didn't do it.
They said he
But-
lit the mattress on fire.
Yeah, that's what they said.
That's what they said.
Okay, but what crackhead is going to set their only mattress on fire? Anyways,
Okay.
It's a setup, y'all. But a flame engulfed a whole big chunk of the interstate.
Uh-huh.
They rebuilt that sucker in about 6 months.
Like,
And I said,
probably less than that.
probably.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not driving across that.
Y'all go ahead.
No. I said, it'll take me months before I'll ever
Yeah.
go. I need to see thousands of other vehicles
Y'all
go
go
across
ahead.
there before I do it. So
Please
that
go
would
in
be
front
the
of me.
same way I would act. The rest of the day, I'm like, let me
go.
see if Martha and her family can go through it
But
first.
when I tell you in the movie, once them seas parted, they was running. They were like, oh, bet, go.
They just start taking off.
Let's go. Let's go. Bring the cast. Let's go. They was booking it.
See, in the animated, they were a little bit held back. They're like, what do we do? And then Moses was like, go forth. You know, it's like the path is clear. March on.
Go.
Right. And
Just
so they
go.
they start walking through, and it's a whole sea. So that you got sea creatures. So they show the sea creatures. Yeah, they're like in the water swimming next to them. So they're like in awe because they're like, of course they're walking, and there's like a big old 20-foot wall of water, and they're looking like,
Wait.
okay. Oh, there's a shark. There's a whale.
Well,
And they just walk in, saw mermaids.
well, in the movie, the budget did not allow for sea creatures. It was literally just like the ocean floor and walls of water.
and walls, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So which the animated one makes sense. I mean, it's not like the fish went
Right.
away just because he parted the sea. They were still there.
And them poor fish.
Yeah,
The
poor
poor sea
fish.
creatures in the Bible just been going through it.
Man, I'm telling y'all, they're so sick and tired of us because they're like, we just be minding our business. I don't understand why
Right.
we are always being affected by y'all's foolery. So, but in the Bible, and it talks about when they first left, how they were actually guided.
Mhm.
And by day, it was a cloud of, I don't know, just a cloud, I think. And by night, it was a cloud of fire.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't really touch on that in any of the movies, but in the Bible, that's what it's like kind of show. It says, which is fast forward into
Right.
way down. Basically, it's
So-
Jesus in a form of whatever that's protecting the.
So
the
in the
people.
Bible, how long was the trek from, through the sea? Does it really give
It
like
doesn't.
quantify
It
how long?
does not. No.
Because in the movie,
Hmm.
I'm going to estimate it took them about, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to get across. Because once the last family or person crosses, when Moses and God, of course, closed the waters up and swallowed up the army. And Pharaoh is looking from like the cliff, I guess. Like he didn't go with them. He was like, this is
Oh,
a
so
job for y'all.
in the Charles Manson one, he did not go. I
No,
can't
he
remember.
stood back. He was like, "This ain't a job for a pharaoh." He says that. He was like, "This is not a job for a pharaoh. This is a job for y'all. So y'all go after them. I'm gonna watch y'all."
Oh, okay. See,
So when it closed up, he's like, there really is a God. Because he was like, I guess like the parting didn't even like dawn on him that there's an actual higher power out there.
So the pillar of fire didn't stop him.
So, wait, let's even go back even further. All those plagues didn't even like clue him in that there's God.
Right.
It's not until he saw his own army swallowed up by the Red Sea. He was like, Moses, y'all got this. Like, you won. God, you're real.
It took all that. We'll talk about some stubborn.
That's stubbornness right there. And then in the movie, he goes back to Nefertiti and he was about to kill her. She's like, you ain't finna kill me. What happened? He was like, I have to just acknowledge that their God is for real. And I'm just gonna sit here because my army's gone. She was like, I told you.
Yeah. And so in the animated one, they show that the Pharaoh is or Ramses, who's the Pharaoh, is so consumed with anger that he actually does go with the chariots to chase them down. And these people is running because when he first parts the sea, because like I said, they're all shocked. They're like, well, I don't know what to do. And then when they start walking, they're taking their time, right?
Yeah.
Because the pillar of fire is still kind of holding the army back. But as that pillar of fire starts to like disintegrate and go away, they're like, oh, wait a minute. The chariots are charging again. So then they start running. And so he's got his whip and he's like, go. And so they're chasing and they're running and they're running and running. And then Moses, I guess, because he was the first one to go through, he makes the other side. He's telling people, come on, y'all, stop. Like, pick up the elderly. Let's go. Like, run. Come on. And then as they finally all get, like, once the last Israelite, I guess, feet touches regular land, that's when he does whatever he does. And the waters come smashing down and start just smashing and consuming all of the Egyptians. And but the Pharaoh's chariot gets like knocked. So he like flings back and he just like, his body hits like a rock. And he's just standing on top of this rock watching all the destruction happen. And then he's like screaming. He's like, Moses,
brother,
I hate you.
No, I hate you.
Yes. Pretty much it's like,
damn.
Right. So, but in the Bible, honestly, they kind of glance about it. He's just like, Moses, raise your hand, part the sea. People just walk through and then they get through. And then it's like, yes, there's a pillar of fire and all that stuff. But then he closes it and they ended up, being consumed.
In the Bible, is the Pharaoh consumed in the water?
Yeah,
okay.
It says, right here, when all the Israelites had reached the other side, the Lord said to Moses, raise your hand over the sea again. Then the waters will rush back and cover the Egyptians and their chariots and charioteers, if I'm saying that right. So as the sun began to rise, Moses raised his hand over the sea, and the water rushed back into its usual place. The Egyptians tried to escape, but the Lord swept them into the sea. Then the waters returned and covered all the chariots and the charioteers, the entire army of the Pharaoh. All of the Egyptians who chased the Israelites into the sea did not survive. Not a single one.
Well, I guess in the movie, Gilberto said, I ain't going down like no punk. You better write me a scene where I can reflect on what happened, because I'm not going to go in there.
Right?
That's why.
So we are coming up on our time.
Yeah.
And I know we said this was going to be 2 parts, but this might end up having to be 3 part because we haven't even discussed the foolishness of these people.
And it was pure tomfoolery.
A whole bunch. Like after that, again, y'all better be glad I ain't God. Because I would be so full, just
so through with y'all.
So fed up with everybody. I done showed you all these miracles, set you free. All I said was relax and chill for a minute while I talked to Moses real quick. And it had been, I think they said it was only like a couple of days.
It was only a couple of days.
And then he came back down from the mountaintop. These fools had made, I don't even know how they quickly, because in the movie, if I remember correctly, they was like, Aaron's a great architect. Here, let's give him all of our jewelry.
They took all their gold and everything. And Aaron was like, I'm not gonna make no golden calf.
Right. And they
Can't
were
make me
like,
do
well,
this.
you might as well because we don't think Moses is alive.
coming back.
He's not coming back. He's dead.
Oh, they gave him so much grief, but we'll talk about that next time.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, man. These people.
That
I
book
tell
was
you,
restless.
It,
That book was restless.
but how you that restless when you just got saved?
Literally.
Just got saved, and then y'all like we don't know what to do,
Yeah.
and then they done lost their mind.
Y'all just ungrateful sons of
Right.
blank.
So many times God was like, "That's it. I'm gonna destroy them.
I am done with you.
They gotta go. I know. I said I was gonna save these people, but they gotta go.
so sad.
So sad. Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey. All right. So we're gonna wrap up this episode, and I guess next week we'll have to touch
We'll
back
wrap it
into
up. Yeah. But listen, Moses is a very important figure in the Bible, so I expected us to,
Yes,
have a
because
good depth.
it
in
says
stuff
that
discussion.
he actually, all those times he was
Yeah.
spending with God was actually him writing down the past
Mhm.
and what is to come.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the first 5 books
Yeah.
are credited to Moses.
Yeah.
But
Seems like, leave me alone. I'm doing work. I'm busy.
Right.
I'm doing the God's work here.
and they talking about, you don't know if
Y'all
you're
can
coming
be
back.
patient.
Oh my goodness. But all right, y'all. Well, thank you for joining us once again for Babbles by Black.
We enjoyed y'all. I hope you enjoyed us as well.
Yes, and we'll be back with yet part 3 of Moses and the Hebrews and Israelite fools. So
Israelite I cannot.
have a good one.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Bye.